Physical effects increased, not mental effects. Yo, what's going on? It's someone that's known, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report is coming from heyheyheihei off Erowid. When this happened, 2019. The drug used was hydroxyzine, at a dose of 175 milligrams. The route of administration, orally, gender, female, weight, 120 pounds, age, 21, prior experience includes benzos and opiates, and the setting is at home. So in this report we're introducing the pharmaceutical hydroxyzine, an antihistamine we introduced in a report during delirium week. Now it is believed not to be very psychoactive on its own, mainly providing typical physical effects of an antihistamine, partially being used as an anti-anxiety medication. But of course, that hasn't stopped people from trying to see if any recreational effects can be seeped from the substance, which, for the most part, at 175 milligrams, that would be considered a strong dose. And looking at most reports, people taking strong doses typically are looking more for a strong recreational anti-anxiety effect, which the effectiveness of that will be subjective. But some may expect delirium effects to pop out, but none have been reported yet in high doses, possibly making it absent in this antihistamine. Either way, I think this report sheds some light in this area and shows what potentially can occur on hydroxyzine in a high dose. So, without further ado, let's dive right into this. Taking a large dose. I'm prescribed hydroxyzine for anxiety, take as needed. I hardly ever need it, so I end up stockpiling it to take in large doses when I don't have anything else. This day, I actually was feeling pretty anxious, with sweaty palms and shortness of breath, and I wanted to completely sedate myself, so I took 4 25 milligram pills at about 3 p.m. A typical dose is supposed to be 1 to 2 25 milligram pills every 2 to 3 hours. My boyfriend was going to get home at 8, so I figured I'd have enough time to relax, play some video games, and be awake enough to hang out with him when he got home. After about 20 minutes, I could feel it kicking in, but wanted to get really gone mentally, so I took 3 more 25 milligram pills for a total of 175 milligrams. One thing I want to point out is that hydroxyzine does not have the mood-altering effects of other anti-anxiety meds. It's a sedative, but what euphoria I can get is so mild, it's negligible. So taking this, hoping to get a mental high, is not really effective. I took a very large dose, hoping to increase the mental effects. By 4 p.m., I was slurring my words, moving slowly, and breathing slowly. I couldn't focus on the game, and hardly wanted to move my fingers to press buttons. My boyfriend was texting me, and it took very large effort just to come up with a response. My mouth started to get uncomfortably dry. By 4 p.m., I was so physically tired that I couldn't sit up. I had to lie down. My mind felt foggy and like it was being wrapped in a wet, heavy, warm blanket. I wrapped myself up in blankets in my bed and didn't wake up until 7:45 p.m. My boyfriend texted me, and I tried my best to force myself awake so I could let him into the house and talk with him. It took an incredible amount of effort. When he got in, he was having a rough day and tried to talk to me about it. I remember feeling incredibly guilty that I could hardly keep my eyes open, and I was so slow mentally that my responses, if they even made sense, weren't helpful at all. I had to force every word out of my mouth, which wasn't made easier by the fact my mouth was so dry no amount of water could help. He had to go to work in the morning too, so we went to bed at 9 p.m. I passed out instantly. My boyfriend tried to wake me up at 7 a.m. when he left, but could only get me alert enough to kiss him goodbye for a second. I had 2 alarms set for 9 a.m. and 9:15, but I only woke up at my alarm at 9:30, causing me to be almost late for an appointment. My throat hurt from being dry all night, and I was still sluggish and couldn't think straight. I had to drive about a half an hour to my appointment, and I remember being very scared because my reaction time was dulled and I could possibly get in an accident. When I got to my appointment, I tried to talk to my therapist, but had very long periods of silence between words, could not recall recent events, and repeated things a lot. When I got home at 11 a.m., I fell asleep again until 4 p.m. When I woke up, I felt a bit better, but still foggy. Hydroxyzine has a half-life of about 24 hours, so at this point, I started to feel a little more normal, but I didn't fully return to feeling normal until the next morning. In total, for over 48 hours, I ended up sleeping 30 hours. All in all, hydroxyzine is very helpful in low 25 to 75 milligram doses for mild anxiety, irritability, and insomnia. When, 3 days later, I took 50 milligrams for irritability, it worked fine, and I had no excessive sleepiness, just a feeling of physical calm. But the more I take, the more the physical effects are increased, not the mental effects. It's more likely just to make me pass out than any feeling of euphoric sedation that benzos or opiates give. It's basically like taking a ton of NyQuil without the bad trips that can come with it.